We're live.
Hello, welcome to Violent Wrestling Podcast. It's a Wednesday. That means two things: Violent Wrestling Podcast, and it's raining at my house. And by always, I'm joined by Metal Matt, one of our co-hosts, and OMG, is this for real? Is this happening? Is Ambrose Alley back?
I'm
Holy
back,
crap!
guys.
It is her. Oh my goodness. We missed you. We missed you. We missed you.
Nah, you just missed Cassie the Wonder Dog.
Well, that too, but I wasn't going to tell you that. So here we are discussing another week of wrestling, and some things happened this week. We're going to, in just a minute, we're going to start off with AA's recent trip to Rocky Mountain Pro Shocktober this past weekend.
Yep, and speaking of October, do you guys know what today is?
Not off the top of my head.
Well, greetings, boys and ghouls. It is Halloween, a special Halloween episode of VWP. Get ready to get spooked.
Pretty damn good at that.
Yeah, like that's kind of scary how good he is at it.
Someone's in the spirit.
Nice.
Yeah, dressed up as Jason Voorhees tonight and handed out candy.
I dressed as a hockey fan.
Aren't those kind of the same? Not really, but like the hot. At least you guys kept a theme. Jason
What did
Voorhees
you
wears.
as Max?
Just dress like an asshole, like I normally do. My daily costume.
So you dressed up as Alvaro Del Rio, I see.
Hey, too far, too far.
You know I'm just playing with you, Max.
That's over the line. Like that, we're gonna have to. We might have to go back to a two-person booth.
Nope, I like the 3-person booth.
Well, he needs to knock that crap off with the. And yes, we pick and tease, and everything's in jest and fun, and hope everybody's past week was well, and hope everybody's been safe on Halloween. Obviously, like I said, if it's a Wednesday, it's raining at my house, and if you hear some what sounds like popcorn in the background, that's just rain hitting the roof. So, let's start with AA. Where have you been the last
Which
couple of
week?
weeks?
Well,
Well,
a
let's
couple
start at the
weeks.
beginning.
Well, I made a trip to Las Vegas to spend some time with JBL's hat.
Nice.
So I had fun in Vegas. I didn't gamble a lot. I only gambled $10, but I made 11.
So you won. Like that's you show the man, AA. You show the man.
I took the house for $11.
Take them for every little penny you can.
But that's all I did for gambling. I just gambled $10. Made 21. Then after I
What
paid
kind of
myself back, I had 11.
what kind of shows did you see?
Well, we went and saw Reba and Brooks and Dunn, which was an awesome show. I highly recommend you go see it if you ever get a chance.
Are
It
Brooks
is
and
worth
Dunn
seeing.
together again?
Yeah,
Okay, because they split. I don't know how many years ago, but
they're
cool,
back. They're back together and doing a show with Reba.
nice.
And we were lucky enough to make it to the hockey game and watch the Vegas Knights beat the hell out of the Anaheim Ducks. So
Now,
that was fun.
why would you cheer on some grown men beating the hell out of little kids? I mean, the Mighty Ducks. How? And you're rooting for the. Sorry, bad joke. Just
Yes, I'm rooting for the Vegas Knights.
well, the Ducks got their name off of the show, the Mighty Ducks.
I like to think it's the animated series where they actually are ducks.
Quack,
Yes.
quack.
That, and I haven't seen all of it, but that is a great cartoon.
Yeah. Hashtag bring back Toon Disney.
And make it hashtag like what it was before. Don't do like over make something that was cool before, because that's not working anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you do in Vegas?
We went and saw the sights. We went to the Hoover Dam and got to go down and see the big turbines.
Nice.
And getting to see the turbines was like trying to get through security at DIA.
I've heard so much bad about DIA, and for those that don't know, that's Denver International Airport, of trying to get through security.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
And it still might be, but at one time when DIA actually opened, it was the largest airport in the world. Like, as far as the square mileage it took up. It still might not be, but when it opened, it was supposed to be the biggest airport in the world.
And you're lucky if you get your luggage.
Okay. Did you get your luggage?
Yes, I got my luggage. After they sent us to the wrong freaking carousel. We get off the plane and they say, okay, your luggage is going to come out on carousel either 1, 2, or 3. So we go to the carousel and it's on 3, and they have which flights it's going to be on that carousel. And it said our flight that came in from Vegas. So we stand there for like 10, 15 minutes. And they says, they come over the loudspeaker, says, those who came in from Vegas on flight 774, your luggage is coming in on carousel 1. After they made us wait 15 minutes.
What a great, by the way. Oh, my bad. By the way. And for those that are wondering about JBL's other hat, you can find him on Twitter at unfrozen_ice. Really cool guy. He's from Australia. Just awesome dude.
Yes, he is. He is a wonderful guy. Got a very good sense of humor. A little crazy, but he's got a sense of humor.
Anything else happen on the Vegas trip?
On Vegas trip, well, let's see. I already complained about DIA.
Oh yeah,
the Vegas.
There might be a couple more rants coming later. So.
Oh, don't get me started at DIA. We did a trail ride through the desert. It felt so good to be on the back of a horse again.
Yeehaw!
In fact, my new Twitter profile picture shows a picture of me on a horse named Outlaw.
And I'm sorry, that's just so fitting that you, of all people, have a picture of you riding a horse named Outlaw. Like that just fits. Like that, like it was supposed to be.
She was a great little mare. She's a great little mare. Had a little bit of an attitude, but we took care of it.
Exactly.
She tried to act up on me, but I let her know I wouldn't put up with it.
Oh, you're gonna mess with Ambrose Alley? You think so? Like, nope. Like, I'll put you in check real quick.
No, she was going to get nasty with the horse behind her, which was the horse that Hat was riding. And I was not going to let her do it.
I need video of all this just because I know you guys, and like I need that exchange in video form. And this might be past tense. I can't remember when and where showed, like no Celine Dion or J-Lo or anything like that.
Nope. Just Reba and Brooks and Dunn.
Nice.
And then, of course, we saw the fountains at Bellagio at night. Got some beautiful pictures of that. I'll have to put those up.
The water show thing.
Yes.
I don't really have any desire to go more west than I've been, and the most western I've been is El Paso. Well, Colorado, but if you draw a line, like basically the like Nevada, California, Seattle, or Washington, Oregon. But I do have I would like to see kind of thing, and that's one thing I do want to see is the waterworks.
That's beautiful. And then if you go inside the Bellagio, and as soon as you go through the lobby, they have this beautiful, very fanciful setup, and it's just wonderful. I said I'm going to have to put the pictures up. I'm really going to have to sit down and do that.
Matt, have you ever been to Vegas, Matt?
No, I haven't.
My wife's been there, and she, like you, she like, oh, it's a great place. And that might just be like one of my things. Like, yeah, it looks great on TV, but And I'll just kind of speak for you. Last week, because the trip ended Tuesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday, I just slept through it because I was still suffering from jet lag. So that's why I was out Wednesdays. I was out like a light, folks. You couldn't have woken me up with a cattle prod.
As much as I tried. Like, hey, where are you? Call, text. And it took me like about 5 minutes to realize, like, okay, she just got back from Vegas. So, we're gonna have to go another route. Like,
I was out like a light.
And that's understandable. Like that, nothing. Okay, on a fun scale, 1 to 5, how much fun did you have?
It was a 10.
Nice. Very nice. That's what matters. You had fun.
Yes, I had a lot of fun. And of course,
Quick chat.
sharing it with someone made it even better than doing it by yourself.
Oh, you like, especially Hat. Like if something was kind of like midway, like Hat just takes it all the way to, like, this is fantastic. And I like this. I just don't. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but if Hat is around you, Hat will make sure it's the best thing you've ever seen.
Oh, yes.
Quick shout out to the 2 Wednesdays, the last 2 VWPs. Adam Rice at PWFan01 on Twitter. Thank you for coming on the first week. And at Thomas SK Knight, coming on the second week and being the third person in the booth. Thank you both. Both episodes were really good. So thank you both. Thank you because both of them were kind of on short notice, and they both were. Hey, like I've said before, like, you're really loved, and I guess that kind of transcends to Matt and myself. Like, hey, the first one, I'm not going to bring his name up. Was supposed to be there. You guys know I'm talking about Wing, and just things happened where he couldn't be there, so I reached out to Adam, and Adam's like, sure thing, let's go. The time zone differences work. Like, I'm not mad at you, Wing. I still love you. You're my bestie. But thank you guys both for being the third person in the booth the last couple of weeks. Hope we did you justice, AA.
You folks, you sure did. Now, shall we get to the wrestling?
I don't know. What is that? What's wrestling? Are we talking about like the thing I see on the Olympics every 4 years? What are we talking about?
Talking about wrestling.
Oh, some wrestling. Some of the good stuff.
Yeah.
Start us off with Rocky Mountain Pros Shocktober.
Shocktober. One of their big events. It was great. They started off with a ladder match for the Rocky Mountain Pro Championship. It was between Tyler Stinson, the current champion, against Filter. Tyler
They
Stinson
opened the show with that.
They opened the show with that.
Nice.
That's how the show opened. And it was a great show. That was a good, fun match to watch. Boy, when Helter high fives, he high fives hard.
To quote you, my hand still hurts.
But he's a great guy. He really is.
That's kind of surprising. I knew the card. It was just kind of surprising that A, it's a ladder match. B, it's for the championship. And you have more detail than I coming later. But they opened the show with a ladder match for the Rocky Mountain Pro Championship. Like
Yes.
That's okay with in my book. But you have to follow that up, and they did.
Oh boy, did they. They followed it up. There's this great match between EOE and Tough Guy Inc. and going for the #1 spot to go up for the tag team championships, which was won by EOE. Though I was rooting for Tough Guy Inc. But that was a great match. And then they ended it with a 10-man tag. Or 10-man tag elimination.
Who the 5 versus 5? You have that ran down or remember offhand?
Let's see. The face side consisted of Mercury Yaden, Atiba, HJ1, Humphrey Jacobs the First, Anaya, and Hoodie. The heel team consisted of my boy Curtis Cole, Severino Corrente, Red Viper, Austin Riddick, and I forgot who the 5th man was.
Before I go too much into the match, Austin Riddick I love the name because it's referring to
Texas.
2 of the most hated college basketball players of all time, Austin Rivers and JJ Redick. And it's put together like that's such a. There's no way you can put that name on him. Well, there's a way, but just saying like face team's here, heel team's here. If you say Austin Riddick, that is a heel team to 98% of the country.
Well, the heel team won. The last 2 standing was Sereno Corrente and Austin Riddick. Hoodie got counted out. He got counted out because Anaya got pinned, so Anaya was leaving. Anaya got attacked by EOE, so Hoodie went to help his brother, and those 4 were brawling all the way to the back. So Hoodie got counted out.
And if you're listening and you want to find out more, Anaya on Twitter is at ANAW or ANAYA. Hoodie is at HOODIELCG. They are such a fun follow.
And Anaya's at Anaya Gorillas.
Yeah, it is at Anaya Gorillas. Sometimes their ad name and their actual name. You're right. It's Anaya Gorillas.
And if you want, huh?
Go ahead.
I was going to say you can also follow them on YouTube if you look for Hoodie Howlett, HOODIE HOWLETT. You can catch some of their earlier matches and stuff that they have put up. Subscribe, follow them. They got some great stuff on there.
They just, to some degree, they keep kayfabe, but they do it so well. Every once in a while, they will break that 4th wall or whatever. But some of their interactions, because they don't they go outside of Rocky Mountain Pro every so once in a while, and they just eat some of their upcoming opponents.
Yeah, like Anaya originally put out there. He came to chew bubble gum and break necks, and he's all out of bubble gum. I just got a kick when I read that.
Yeah, he channeling his any Roddy Piper there.
Yes. And yes, folks, you can follow Rocky Mountain Pro on YouTube. You can also follow him on Twitch at Rocky MTN Pro. Give him a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription to Twitch.
And see, that's what I go ahead.
Use it on Rocky Mountain Pro. Get some great stuff. They have some great stuff in the archives. It's not all wrestling. If you want to know about fantasy football, the Reno Corrente and Jared, they do smart mark football. And they are really knowledgeable on fantasy football. They run down everything.
See, now I've really, because both you guys know me and my fantasy football. Like, I really wanted to take them to task. Maybe next season, like I'm just now getting like a rapport with the both. Maybe next season I could get Anaya and Hoodie and a couple others to fill out a league. Okay, just for my just for shits and giggles. How good are you kind of thing, which I know I'm gonna probably be like Saskatchewan nerve hold of like, okay, I'm 1-7. But the whole promotion, the whole it's so fun to watch on Twitch, and that's how I have to watch it is Twitch. So it might not be always live, but it's not so delayed where I'm the promotion, the people, the love for wrestling, it's just very apparent.
Oh, and some news going forward that came out in October with Rocky Mountain Pro. They're going to start doing a weekly, instead of doing charge once or twice a month, they're going to do charge every Thursday night.
Nice.
They're going to do a weekly show. And it's going to be on Twitch.
I'm all in for that.
So plus they'll still have their big events.
Before we move along to other wrestling stuff, because I already know, and Matt does too, you got to meet your favorite
I mean Curtis Cole?
Yes, I do.
Yes, my boy Curtis Cole. I got a couple of good hugs from him.
He's a hugger.
He knows how to hug. So does Chongo, too. Chongo's a good hugger. Of course, Chongo don't hug, but Chongo hugged.
I can just envision, like, are you trying to hug or squeeze me to death?
Chungo is probably squeeze you to death.
Yeah, that's like, wait, what's going on here? Like, I'm so happy you had that interaction with Curtis Cole.
So,
Man,
but that's my experience with Shocktober. It was wonderful. And yes, folks, I did not get drunk. I had a couple of beers, but I didn't get drunk.
and so now we'll figure out a way to. Well, I'll shut up because I know we're good. So, Chuck, what I've seen of Shocktober was an A. You saw the whole thing live. What would you give it?
A plus.
Okay. I guess that moves us along to Sunday, WWE Evolution.
Oh, that happened.
Well, after the 2 weeks you've been through, like, yeah, like for a while, oh yeah, that.
That happened.
Yeah. I'll let Matt kick this off.
Wait, what?
Um, we moved on to Evolution. Unless either one of you guys had anything to say between Shocktober, which was 2 days before Evolution, or anything else you wanted to add about AAs. Just abandoning us for 2 weeks. Oh, we couldn't deal. We couldn't deal. It was rough.
I want to hear about how Becky did at Evolution.
She did great. She had a great match with Charlotte, the last woman standing match, and Becky retained the title.
That's
Oh,
shocking.
I mean, the match was flawed. They have got to stop booking Becky like a cowardly heel. It doesn't suit her. It doesn't fit her character. It goes against everything that her character stands for. Stop it, WWE. Stop it. But other than that, the match was great.
We went from a smooth, let's talk about Rocky Mountain Pro, to let's have Mox and Metal just rant because I have
This
problems
is going to be
with
a
this match.
rant.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear this rant.
Yeah, this is going to be a ranty episode.
Because I ranted about DIA, so rant away.
Well, I'll let Matt finish his.
Oh, I already did my rant for that particular match. There's a couple more rants on this show, which, I mean, for the most part, the show was fine. It was what it was, but there were a couple of booking decisions that really grinded my gears, so to speak.
Okay, Peter Griffin. and this, I do I have the floor, or did anybody need a?
Go right ahead.
This does not necessarily fall on Mike Chioda. It does just in the kayfabe spectrum of it. But what the flying fuck were some of those? Okay, Matt already said that Becky retains. So there's no spoiler like, oh, by the way, or something that can. Good match. Good to backslash great match. But some of the where it falls on the referee, which in this case was Mike Chioda. What the fuck were you doing? How are you saying she's on her feet or she made it, before the 10 count, and she's still, when I say she in this instance, is Charlotte coming out from under the chairs. Even before that, he did it a few times. This is why I don't like a last woman, a last man standing match needs to be done, choreographed, a lot, like whatever. But there were 3 times before the actual finish that Charlotte didn't make it to her feet. And everybody knows, or everybody that's ever listened to me or saw my words, I'm not a Charlotte fan. This wasn't on Charlotte. I'm not blaming Charlotte. She may have been off time. This was like, okay, give her time. Act distracted. Get Becky away from her so you can turn your back. 3 times before the finish. And she didn't even make her to her feet. But he counted it. It was, and I know I'm very nitpicky here. But it did. I'm sorry. That's just, again, good match / great match. But that shit irked the hell of me. It's last woman standing match, not last woman that can get to one knee. And there were 3 times that Charlotte did not make. In fact, there was one time that Becky didn't. And there were numerous times that he didn't even start counting. Didn't even start counting. Not on your feet. Start counting. You have the simplest job. You had one job, to use a meme from years ago. You had one job. And then the ending, she actually made it to her. She had both feet under her and obviously fell right. But the one time she actually had both feet under her, nope. That's ball game. She didn't make it to her feet. If you rewatch that match, there were times before she did not make it to her feet. The one time she did, at the end of the match, there's so much blame, I guess, that there's nobody to blame. They did the best he did the best he could. But that was just such a horrible, and Michael Cole in the background, our senior official. That's why he's calling it. He's your senior official. If you're going to tout it like that, do better than. I'm not even right at the moment getting to the, hey, I'm going to kick this chair Becky's way, or I'm going to, we all get how that works, kayfabe wise. This chair's not close enough, so I'm just going to, hopefully you don't see this, and whoop. Now the chair's in Becky's hand. It was just so aggravating. So 9. Charlotte's still not on her feet. She's kneeling, one knee down, one foot up. Oh, she's up. No, that's not how that works. Enjoyed the match. I didn't let it take it out of, or let that take my joy of the match out, or how good of a match it was. But it's just one of those things, and it's probably me, and I'm sure at Fireman6809, tweet me all you want. It might just be me, but it just, one of those things that aggravates me because it didn't just happen once; it happened several times where Charlotte didn't make it to her feet, but he stopped the count, or where he should have started counting and he didn't. Not to sound like a mark or anything, like it's real to me, damn it. But it's one or the other. That's why I don't like these kind of matches. They're good matches. It's just the referee, because it happens every single time, or it has been at least the last few years of the wait to count or the I can't, I've got to find a distraction to break the count. But this one, he just literally kept counting and didn't have a distraction and just said, nope, made it to her feet when she didn't. And that, again, and I'll leave it at that. That just one of those small things that just irks me. There's Mox's first rant of the night.
Okay,
Is he Nick Patrick? No.
Well, that would take a special level of incompetence. Macho didn't quite reach it. He was close, but it takes a special level of incompetence to reach Nick Patrick levels.
Did you see what I saw, Matt?
What did you see?
What I just spent 5 minutes talking about it. Charlotte not being
I certainly saw that. Macho was trying to screw over Becky Lynch. He was trying to rob the champ of the title.
Oh, good grief. I didn't mean it like that. But he even did it with, Becky a time or two. Like, it felt so off of his counting. And a couple of times, they were both laid out. And it, again, I don't like the last, and I'm just the last person standing match because of anymore anyway. Like used to it was okay, but anymore because of that kind of like, why the hell is the ref not counting? Why the hell is the ref counting? Why the hell is the ref counting on this person and on this person? One's on their butt, the other one's fake. Like anymore, like start doing better with, if you're going to do these kind of matches, aging it better. Like it used to be like they had to be on their feet, like literally on their feet, not just like I'm alive. Like that's, and it just, again, not taking away from the match. The match was solid. But just if you guys don't know me, I have a very, every once in a while, like focused, nitpicky kind of mind. And that Chioda just, like, come on, dude, either count or don't. It seemed like he was picking and choosing. Like, hey, here's Becky laid out. I'm not going to count. Here's Charlotte laid out. Well, let's see how this goes. And it just, I don't like that stuff. Like the match. The match was really good. Even my 9-year-old son was screaming. Not, I say screaming, like, why is the ref not counting? Or why did the ref not count to 10. My 9-year-old son, and this is just a visual thing. She didn't make it to her feet, or she's off her feet. Start counting. I'll get off my. There's my first rant of the night. But damn, Mike Chioda. It's a last woman standing match. If one of the women are not on their feet, start counting. Just for us, count as slow as the hell you want to count. But start counting. You can do 1. Wait 5 damn seconds before you say 2. Which they usually do, but start counting. Okay.
What next is on the rant list?
Oh, Matt's got a couple lined up.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to just go down the card?
Yeah, let's go ahead and start with the Battle Royal.
So the first match was Trish and Lita versus Mickie James and Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox.
This was actually a pretty good opening match. Like, this actually did surprise me a bit. I actually did quite enjoy this.
It served its purpose. Like, it was, and when I say purpose, like, Trish and Lita opened the show. You know, the pop of the entrance. Oh, sorry. If you guys hear that kind of stuff, it's just acorns hitting my roof. Nobody's shooting. We're like, yeah, it served its purpose. Like, it wasn't a bad match per se. A lot of missed spots, I guess. Lita hit the moonsault. Yay.
Of course, she should have hit the moonsault. It's what she's known for.
She's missed it the last few times. This was kind of an ugly match. Good match, I guess, but at the same time ugly. Based on you have like 2 Hall of Famers and a future Hall of Famer on the other side with Trish, Lita, and Mickie, and served its purpose. They got the crowd going. Just I've said this off air. I've said this in threads and stuff. If you want to, when you highlight something, you highlight everything, and that includes some of the bad. Like, you can't just highlight like, oh my gosh, look how much, positive. When you highlight in a broad stroke, you also highlight some of the negatives, and few spots here also highlighted the negatives, and that recurs through the entire pay-per-view. And I know I'm gonna get shit, and I don't mean like the pay per view is bad. Like the pay per view is really, really good, but at the same time, like it wasn't just 5 star after 5 star after 5 star. Like that's not what happened. Lady and Trish beat Alicia Fox. Matt, do you think this would have turned out any other way if Alexa Bliss
Was still
didn't have to be? Go ahead.
if she was still in the match.
Yeah, if Alicia Fox didn't have to replace her, do you think the outcome would have been any different?
It would have been the exact same, I think. I think Trish Navita would have won regardless.
Yeah, I think so as well. I'm with you on that one. The layout of the match might have been a little different, but I think Trish and Lita were going over regardless of their opponents. Just my, I don't think it was like, oh well, Alexa's out, so we're gonna replace her with Alicia. And so, oh, now by the way, Trish and Lita are going over. I think the plan all along was Trish and Lita going over once the match was announced. Good match. I'll give, and I hate doing this. 2.5 stars out of 5. I mean, for like 2 stars is just for Trish and Lita. And Mickey like that. Well, I'll give it 3 stars. 1 star for Trish, Lita, and Mickey. 3.5 stars for Alicia Fox. Okay, 3.5 out of 5. Just because I like all 4 of them. So I like Crazy Fox. I know I'm in the minority, but
I was going to say, where's the love for Foxy?
If they would stay consistent with Crazy Fox.
I thought you said Crazy Frog at first.
Oh, good grief.
Ding 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 ding. This is the Crazy Frog.
Put your banjo down. Put your banjo down. What was the next match?
The next match was the Battle Royal.
Before you get started, I have something to say. And if you don't get that reference,
I don't suck.
They all got entrances. It wasn't just going to a commercial and coming back in 20. Every single woman got an entrance, which is cool. It wasn't just like a random, because they do this to the men all the time too. Like go to commercial, come back, and you just have a lot of people in the ring. Like, oh, better roll time. That every woman in that got an entrance, which they should have, and that was cool. this match was a clusterfuck.
And they ruined the match. They ruined the match the very second it started.
And speaking of, here's the next rant. AA, go ahead, Matt.
So the Iconics are the last two to get an entrance. And they cut a promo pretty much speaking the truth. They speak the truth in their promo. The legends are all there to have one more moment in the spotlight. And what do they do? What do they do? All the legends, nobody else, only the legends eliminate the Iconics. First two to go. I really don't want to say it was a burial, but I don't even know what to freaking say about this crap.
Did you just drop a cuss word on us?
No, he said frickin'.
Oh,
It basically sent the message that these people, that these women working for us right now, they don't matter. Now, these legends, on the other hand, who you will most likely never see again after this, they matter. It is the most insulting spot I've seen with the Iconics so far in the main roster.
I'm waiting to get punched through the phone, but I did call that last BWP that was going to happen.
I mean, WWE, it's not hard. It really isn't hard to book these two.
Fandom aside, that was
what should have happened here. One of the Iconics should have won, and you got your challenger, one of your challengers, or even both your challengers for Becky. Like, it really isn't that hard, but they make it more complicated than it needs to be. They are wasting these two who deserve so much better than this lackluster, lazy, creative writing.
I'm all in on a Peyton Royce versus Becky feud or a couple matches, but I knew this. But at the same time, and I wasn't quite sure your response when it happened. If you meant you agreed, or they got a spotlight. There's 18 other women in that ring. The only two that got a microphone and were able to talk were the Iconic duo.
And again, and I've said this before on the podcast, it's awesome that they're getting mic time. They're getting a lot of mic time.
You have to follow up on it, though.
Exactly. That's my point. Like what I've said before on here, it's awesome that they're getting mic time, but when they lose every match that they're in, what's the point?
And I see that. I see both sides of the fence here, where them being eliminated first, but at the same time, you kind of not turn them, because I'm still holding out hope. But it was so reminiscent of Santino Marella. Like, I'm here and now I'm not here. Like,
they deserve so much better than that, because the Icons were actually entertaining, which is more than I can say for Santino.
But the storyline that, if you're gonna throw like a hypothetical, or why wouldn't you do this with them, like the Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose thing, where they and give that to the Iconics, at least that's something.
Yeah.
Like some kind of, oh, what's happening here? Not just like, you talked and you got thrown out immediately. Give that angle to the duos.
And the fact that it was only the legends that eliminated them, that just gives a bad taste in my mouth. If it was everybody that eliminated them, it would still suck, but whatever. But I don't
The
know.
only way I can get that is the inner. If you watch the match, the inner circle were the legends, and then the current roster were the outside circle. That's the only way I can, because they did like run down the quote unquote legends.
Were they wrong?
Do I agree with it? No. But that's one of the problems with like the last woman standing match. Like that's one of the problems of running a match like this. Like somebody has to be the well kind of thing. Like literally just let's have them run down everybody and the crowd and get that initial like haha, now you're gone. Which actually
first of all, I care.
I really wish not to fast forward too much, but Peyton would have been in Selena's spot at the end.
Yeah, like have one of the Iconics be the last person to be eliminated,
Yeah, like even if they don't win, like have that you can do the same scenario, but then like okay, Billy gets actually over the top rope and is eliminated. Somehow Peyton doesn't actually go over the top and feet, but everybody thinks like the Iconic Duos eliminated. And yes, I know they're the Iconics. I will always call them the Iconic Duos. I don't care. Or the Iconic Duo. Like something like that, some kind of trickery. What I love Selena Vega, so don't get me wrong, but that would be a perfect spot of. Wait a minute, they weren't both eliminated, just one. Billy was eliminated, but now here's Peyton. Like, give them some blood, give them some substance or something. I mean, anymore, it's just like, okay, you're with if all they do is talk and lose, like just might as well not even wrestle and just host the after show talk show.
Pretty much, and they deserve so much better.
Yeah, Payne for sure. Sorry.
Well, don't forget Billy as well.
Well, Billy does too, but I've made no bones about me being a bigger Peyton fan than Billy.
I will post that dancing gif. You know I will.
Oh, please. But yeah, the Nia Jax, and so winning the Royal Rumble, the Battle Royal.
Yeah, because Nia Jax just needed that win.
One cool spot that happened in the Royal Rumble was Nia Jax and Tamina doing a quote unquote salute to Roman. The hoo-ha.
Did Nia Jax really need to win this?
No,
No,
not at all.
I agree. No,
and there was a lot of people. This is where things like people that need like the slightest rub could work, like some kind of. And I was talking to Lepsy earlier, like just in Hangouts. Lepsexon from K-Side and Twitter. And we're talking about, how bad the winters are in Germany, and where they need certain tires to get traction to get anywhere. Like, it's not even a rub per se, but just give them a little traction. Give them something. Anybody. This isn't like a quote unquote stand, like I stand this person. Give somebody traction to move forward. And Nia didn't need that traction. She already has that traction. It's the irresistible force. It's just that not just who won, but the Battle Royal is my least favorite of the entire card. I did learn that Morris, my son, with Michelle McCool, that's Undertaker's wife. Like, whoa. No, that's Michelle McCool. Sorry, just a moment we had, like, being referred to as somebody else's significant other, like, let's don't do that. You either know them or you don't, kind of thing. This is where I know good. No word good. Like, that's not just the Undertaker's wife. That's Michelle McCool. Put some respect on her.
Yeah, the Battle Royal was easily the worst match on the card.
Yeah, that was.
Well, most Battle Royals do end up being one of the worst matches on a card.
Yeah, you're right. Most of the time.
Especially when both iconics get eliminated right away. That's what makes it so bad.
and some, like, last week, I picked, either Asuka or Naomi to win. Like, even, which obviously neither one did. But even if a Battle Royal is somewhat predictable, like, there's how they book Battle Royals is so that it's not going to be good, kind of thing. Like, you're going to see just Roman got so much shit. What, 3 years ago, 2 years ago? Roman sleeping. That's what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to be out of the picture for a little bit. Let everybody else get their spots in. But, yeah. I didn't need this. It could have gone to somebody on SmackDown, and I could have still been like, hey, remember me, to Ronda. Kind of like worst match on the card, in my opinion. What's next?
I don't even remember. Let me look at it real quick.
You can tell I didn't watch Evolution.
Well, you're still, coming down from your Las Vegas trip.
Okay, next match was Toni Storm versus Io Shirai in the Mae Young Classic Finals. It was a good match for what it was. It definitely felt rushed.
I was going to ask if you want to start this one or you wanted me to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about it. I'm fine with Tony Storm winning. I think I would prefer Shirai winning, but I'm fine with Tony Storm winning. It was a good match. Maybe if it got a bit more time, it probably would have been really good. But as it is, it's a solid match.
I've seen so many complaints. Like if they had 5 more minutes, if they had, and it's a very very solid match. If you're listening, like it's on their YouTube, like Tony with an eye, Storm versus Sheree. Very good match, and to a degree, it could have used some more time. What not bothered me, but it started off as such a slow paced match, like it was supposed to be longer kind of thing, and then let's say they had 10 minutes. It started off like it was supposed to be like 20 minutes, but good match. People are focusing on, and again, just my views. Well, should have been longer. Should have been longer, and taken away from what actually happened when, like, in the 10 minutes of the match. I think it was a good match. I really liked it. I love both of them, and I'm cool with Tony going over and winning the Mae Young Classic too. Couple of things here and there. I don't want to say scared me, but just like anything else on this card or any other card. Ooh, let's don't do that again. Would I have preferred Tony Storm versus Tegan Knox as much as I love Io? I almost said just absolute yes, but if they were only given 10 minutes, then in the same time frame this match was given, because rumor has it that Tegan was supposed to meet Tony in the finals. The downside of this is Io didn't get to it. Well, neither one of them really, but really Io didn't get to show her on the platform that she was given. Like, she was kind of too restricted. Like, Io's a lot better than that. She has a lot more in her arsenal, kind of thing. Good match. I really enjoyed this match for as short as it was. Now, the only thing I really didn't like this match was afterwards, and as all hell Papa H, him being out in the ring, presenting the trophy and stuff. Like, have Deebs do it or something. But that's such a small nitpick. Good match. In my opinion, for right now, the right woman went over. everybody gets quiet. See, this is why I don't voice my opinion more, because when I'm voice my opinion, everyone's like, "Oh shit."
We're just being respectful and listening to your opinion before we butt in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that right, Metal Matt?
Yep.
See, he
Oh,
agrees with me.
I believe you as far as I can throw you. But
You could probably throw me pretty far.
it was a good match. I don't see the outcry of if it would have been 5 minutes longer, it would have been an even better match. Like you're taking away from the 10 minutes they did have. I do agree with it started slow, like methodical. And if it was going to be 10 minutes, like some of the opening things should have been either not there or like sped up a little bit. But other than that, this was second match of the night, or match of the night, number two. Like it was good. Might be saying that as a huge Tony Storm fan, but that's neither here nor there.
What did you think about it, Matt?
Yeah, so next match is the Riot.
He
Wait,
just
what?
no-sold. He no-sold your question.
Wait, what? I didn't hear it all the way.
No, it's asking what you thought about that match.
Oh, I thought it was a solid match for the most part. I would have had Shirai win instead, but I'm fine with Tony Storm winning. It was a solid match. It just needed more time. Sorry about that. I didn't quite hear it all the way.
That's okay.
And before we go to the NXT, the most nitpickety thing. Can commentary, even if it's wrong, can they pick a name and go with it? They called Iro Shirai so many different names during that match. Like, good grief. I was just waiting for like Michael Cole to say hello Shabagamong or something, like some kind of, like every time they said her name it was different. But anyway, sorry. NXT Women's Championship. No dead air, sir. Let's go.
All right, so next match was Riot Squad versus Bayley, Sasha, and Natalya.
My bad, I skipped ahead. Great match. Let me put that into context. We've seen a form of this match one way or another for how many months now? So when I say great, I don't mean like, oh my God, like it's match of the year kind of stuff. I mean, the match was good enough that, because we've seen it so many times, like, oh, like holy hell, that was a good match. And it's one thing to have a match that you haven't been like a recurring theme, and to like, okay, and guess what? We're gonna do this at a pay-per-view, and it's the same cookie cutter. Like, oh, we just saw that last week and the week before. Like, this was different. in my opinion. Like isn't that what we're talking about? Is opinions. Like I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, it wasn't an awful match by any means. It was perfectly fine. For me, it was just like I wish I was more invested in this match, and just I don't know. I was never quite able to get completely into the match, but again, not a bad match by any means. It was perfectly serviceable.
And that's what makes it better is because it was like last week I said, and it's a shame, but this was a filler match or a cool down match, but it was there have been a filler match here and there or a cool down match where holy shit that was actually really good, and this is what it did for me was it's not like hey let me go make a sandwich or this it's not 5 stars by any means, and all of a sudden apparently I'm genuinely oh please dear God no, because I'm not even going to say his name, but it wasn't when I said great, like it wasn't a great match, like everything was fantastic. I went into it with low expectations, like if any, and I'd be damned if they didn't prove me wrong. Can we please push Ruby Riott and go with it with Liv and Sarah? Like push them hard, like to the moon. Ruby first, and then can we please do that? They're Ruby's so good. Liv is getting better. Sarah has. If they find and the Viking thing, like I get it, but they need to find. Nobody's really latching on to. Oh, she's a Viking. I'm rooting for her. She's a Viking. Like if they just found something for people to latch on to Sarah Logan to cheer for, like she too could, up and come. But Ruby, and I don't know how you work that angle. I mean, do you just like completely do a reverse Seth Rollins and have Ruby turn face on them? Like, pretty good match. Coming out of it, the veteran, quote unquote, being Natty was actually the weakest link in the match, in my opinion. And I get why the ending happened the way they did, and I really like the tribute to each of their favorites for Bayley, Sasha, and Natalya. But it would have done for a longer story purpose having Riott Squad going over here. A good match. It wasn't like a typical normal pay-per-view where 6-woman tag match. Okay, I need to make sandwiches. I need to go to the bathroom. Kind of Like it was decent. Please start pushing Ruby right, please. You guys get so quiet on me when I'm kind of
Guys,
opinion.
we're just being considerate. And right now, I'm thinking of the crazy frog, which brought me to the green frog, which brought me to the red lobster. So,
Oh, good grief!
well, you know how the green frog brought me to red lobster?
Because you just happen to run through the front door to get away from it.
No, the red lobster, when it originally came out, was supposed to be called the green frog. But they didn't get any business, so they changed it to red lobster. Little unknown tidbit of history there. So crazy frog, green frog, red lobster. In my mind, it makes perfect sense. And all because Metal Matt started it.
I'm still trying to figure out. I'm not going to say it on air, but given the H thing, like, how is Metal Matt like just corrupted us so, or been such an impression that we think of things like completely differently than what we used to? Like, oh, thanks, Matt.
Because
I'd never thought of it like that, but here we are.
But it's a good kind of corruption.
I want to find the South Park. You're corrupting my mind. Yeah, Matt's the best.
Aww.
We love you, Matt.
Oh, I love it.
I didn't mean. I meant another Matt. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant
stepping on your tongue.
But yeah, and the reason I give the 6-woman tag match a higher grade is because they gave me no reason to go into it with expectations. So when it actually happened, like, oh wow, okay, like I knew the competitors, like obviously, like they're all capable of doing. Speaking of frog, I have a frog jumping up the porch coming up. Okay then. Thanks, AA. Because of the rain, they're trying to get out of the rain. And anyway, so I went into it expecting nothing and actually got a decent match and like joy. Like, hey, glad I didn't turn the channel to whatever else comes on Sundays, funniest videos or like it was. And you used the word serviceable, and that's what it was. Like, it wasn't like, oh my God, are we doing this? But it wasn't like, oh, match of the year either. It served its purpose. It was serviceable. And I'm feel rant coming on. We kind of spoke about this earlier, but isn't the next match? Who are those two women fighting over the SmackDown Women's Championship?
Well, the next match is Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane for the NXT Women's title.
Oh, I knew I felt a rant coming on. I just got who was going to rant wrong.
It was a good match for the most part. The finish sucked. Like, the finish absolutely sucked.
This was fucking bullshit.
Yeah. And it's like, I get what they're doing because it does seem like they're bringing in all the four horsewomen from MMA now. But this was the worst possible way they could have done it. Because Shayna doesn't need the title at this point in time. Rome just needs to be called up, really. Like, putting the title on her, it really doesn't make any sense.
This is the only match, regardless of outcome. And yes, I'm like my iconic duo, and like by now, if you don't know who I like, then start listening to previous episodes and you'll figure it out. This match was just. This is one of those matches where the outcome outweighs the actual match.
A little bit, yeah.
Like the ending to it all, like just erased, like they were having a good match again. And then that ending was just, what the fuck? We're doing this. That was wrong time. Might have been a good place, but wrong time to. Oh yeah, I got a couple of friends and Jasmine and Shiver, like not there, not now. Like not in this situation. You guys are doing the first ever quote unquote women's pay-per-view. This is like keep everything as clean as possible. Whether we like it or disagree with it, you know, not just as a Kyrie fan or I don't like Shayna person, but this was I didn't like it at all. The first part of the match was good. Like from the NXT Championship match months ago. But then they went too far with Shayna and friends. Yeah. Match was good. Outcome sucked. Shayna is now the first two-time NXT Women's Champion.
Well, someone had to be.
Not her.
I'm fine with it. I would think she should have won the title back here. But I'm fine with her being the first two-time women's champion because I think Shayna really has improved quite a bit this year.
somewhere Craig's hollering, Paige, Paige. This wasn't the time to. I say that, and again, I know we're good. Like that should just be my name. Like instead of when I speak, it comes up Mox. Like I know we're good. This wasn't the time for a two-time champion. Not this way. Not how it transpired.
Not this way. Not this way.
Are
Isn't
you
that
doing?
a song?
He was doing a Run DMC Aerosmith walk this way, but doing not this way thing. I think.
No, I was doing like a commentary thing when he cheats to win.
Not like this. Anything but this. I wouldn't mind Shayna winning it back. Well, I would, just because my alliance to or allegiance to stuff. But good grief, that one of those things that it's probably nitpicky, but God, I hated how that ended. I mean, it might lead to a women's war games next month. Okay, you could have done that in other ways than this. I just didn't like the match was okay. The last 4 minutes of the match just makes me give this not a good grade. Like it was so didn't like it.
So are you saying you didn't like it?
Yes, that's. I liked the match. It was okay until all the foolery, and it just.
That's tomfoolery to you.
See, this is why you and I are forever best friends. You got my reference. Yeah, it was just. And was actually one, believe it or not, as much as I rag on Shayna and her like still learning stuff, this was one of the crisper matches on the card. Like there wasn't like oh sloppy. Oh, that's sloppy. Or what there were some spots in there, but not like a whole like from other matches on the card. Like this was actually a pretty crisp. Again, except for minus a couple of things. This was it flowed well. I just man. And the weirdest part about this is, well, since we already talked about, unless Matt had more to add.
No, not really. It was a good match. Terrible ending.
It really was just the worst way you could. I say worst, like please don't listen. Please don't listen because there could be worse. But I almost skipped ahead of the next two matches. like the 6-woman tag, I thought would be somewhere in the middle of these three. Nope. They went straight. There were no cool down matches. There were since the next match is Becky versus Charlotte, do you have any other things you've thought about in the last 20 minutes you want to add? Looking at you, Matt. I'll take that as a no.
Moving right along.
We get to the main event. Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella for the Raw Women's Championship. Can't you hear the enthusiasm in my voice? I'm just super excited for this match.
I hear that. Sounds like you've been hyped up on sugar.
I blame the Halloween candy. I've been waiting all night for Sunday football. First things first, I get why this man invented. You have Ronda Rousey, Nikki Bella. All capital letters. First things first. Charlotte, Becky should have been invented. It was the better story. It was the better match. It was the only match on the card that had a stipulation. But I digress. Ronda versus Nikki main evented. Matt, how did you take Ronda versus Nikki? Your two favorites.
Well, since Nikki Bella was involved in the match, I didn't watch it.
But she's your favorite.
Oh,
That's getting back for the
APR.
Oh, did I confuse? I'm sorry, they're twins. Did I confuse Nikki for Brie? I'm sorry. You love the Bellas. You have to.
Nah. I've seen more than enough of them a couple years back during that reign of terror that Nikki had.
I mean, can't even get her that gimmick of, the initial reign of terror was terrorizing Triple H. Can't even get her own damn nickname. Sorry. Well, if you didn't watch it, and we know AA didn't. So, you guys always leave. Okay, have to preface this. Do I have the floor? Anybody need to say anything about this before I say what I need to say?
No, I have nothing to say about this match.
AA?
Nope.
Two of my most, and I'm starting to give credit, so before I get hey, to a degree. Let's don't overstate. Like, oh my God, she's picked it up so fast. She's gonna be no. She's getting there, but she hasn't just like turned a pine tree into a maple tree. So quit exaggerating that. Ronda is getting better. Inch by inch. It's not all of a sudden she's great in the ring. She's not. She's too hard on her opponents. Instead of like going, point by point of her flaws, she's learning. I'll give her that much credit. Like, but it's not like an overnight. Like, oh, I get professional wrestling now, and I'm great. Like, there's a very huge line between the two. Nikki, and considering this match, you have to include Brie. I know, and I'm also one that Nikki has improved. Have to admit it. She has improved. But when you go from absolute shit to, is that shit or is that mud? Like, is that actually a improvement? Or are you just not happy to, or are you like, hey, at least I've stepped in mud and not shit. She's still not very good.
Yeah, like, she really hasn't improved that much. Like, I heard people saying that when she was still champion. I'm like, no, she hasn't. Like, people were acting like she was freaking Shawn Michaels in the ring or something. And she wasn't. She's terrible in the ring.
She didn't go from terrible to, oh my God, I can put on classic matches. She switched her style a little bit with the Bella Hammer and stuff like that. Like, where it was more focused on like her power versus her moveset. I'm sorry, she's still shit in the ring. She can do some things better than she could have, which qualifies as improvement. But she's still not good. Did anybody else hear in the corner spot towards the end of the match, Ronda and Nikki talking to each other? Hey, can I pick you up now? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, baby.
You hush. Give it to me, baby. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I don't know why, because they don't do it with everybody or every match, but every once in a while, a microphone is closer to the in-ring action where you can hear, and you could hear like everything, the back and forth shit talking, but you could hear Ronda lifting Nikki up to the top turnbuckle, or trying to lift her, and you could literally hear Ronda ask, "Hey, are you ready for me to pick you up now and do a slam?" And Nikki just replies, literally, "Mm-hmm," and the most Nikki, "Mm-hmm," voice you could imagine. Like, well, and that's not their fault. That's like, get the microphones away, or turn them down or off or something. But Nikki didn't just become like okay, she has some power behind her, but she's not shit, I'm gonna get so much flack for this, but you know, with everything else going on in my life, I don't really care. She's still not that good. She has a move or two. Beyond that, she can barely perform like the most smallest of things. And like at the end of a commercial, or this does not reflect on anything. Violent Wrestling Podcast, Metal Matt or Ambrose Alley. If you have any problems with this, reflect it to at Fireman6809. Send all your mail there. This is a paid programming. Nikki's so bad. The only thing that might have saved this, and even that went awry, was you have the quote unquote Bella twins, because Brie was outside. And even that was. I get why they did it. It's Nikki. It's Nikki Bella. It's Ronda Rousey. Two quote unquote big names. Main event. As far as wrestling goes, the last person you want to put in the ring with Ronda is Nikki Bella. Good match. I know that's contradictory, but the match wasn't really. It was bad. It just wasn't that bad. But good grief, there was so much. The Bellas don't. I'll say it. I come back every once in a while for like the Rumble spot or the Battle Royal spot. Like get your pop and make your money, and no more matches, please. Damn, I even alienated my co-host.
No, you didn't.
You guys got quiet. I don't, and it's not even that much of a, I don't like the Bellas thing, because I've tried my damnedest to look at it from like a clear, like, okay, clean slate. Let's see. And even then, like, no, like Consuelo from American Dad, like, no. They serve a purpose. Their purpose shouldn't be like trying to main event the first women's pay-per-view. Like, that's not where they should have been. And I can hear us losing subscribers as I speak. It's just my opinion. This is, like I said, does not reflect on Matt or AA or us as a whole. Just she's getting better, but I'll just quit talking because I feel like I'm just
Well, we need to get on to Raw. I'm cheating, folks, because I didn't watch Raw this week due to a family situation. So I'm cheating and using the dirt sheets.
What do you think about Raw, Matt?
I thought it was fine. You know, it was what it was. Don't really remember too much about it, but it was fine.
You got to remember the beginning of the Ambrose Rollins feud with
Yeah.
Rollins calling out Ambrose.
That was a pretty good promo.
And I was so, if you guys remember my wording in my post that made it to the hashtag main page, like this, you know, it could have gone awry in one tweet or next Monday, which would have been this past Monday when I made that post. And I think it really like solidified what I was trying to say last Monday, because Dean listen, but he didn't, like, there was no like absolute like, no, I'm Hill, I hate you. Like he listened and he even acted like, I'll listen to you because, you know, I kind of have to because you're my brother, but I don't really want to, kind of thing.
Well, I caught this on YouTube, and I felt that the play of emotions that Dean did across his face just shows what brilliant of an actor he is.
Oh yeah, and that I agree with that. Without saying a word, like, you saw the spectrum he's able to do all in one, like, small segment, or I say small, but in one segment.
Goofy Dean is gone.
And should have been a long time ago.
Yes.
And see, now we're even more invested instead of, again, I'm not trying to like promote anything. That's why I'm not giving links but my post last week was, and that what they did this week was exactly what I was talking about, of try getting into the mind of Dean. Like, and I don't mean that literally, I mean in kayfabe and storyline. Like, so much has to be running through his head. And so sometimes it's better to be there and, okay, say what you got to say. I don't have to respond to you, but I'll be here to, you know, say whatever bullshit you got to say, and I'll go about my business. And like that's what I wanted from that post, and that's what I didn't make it clear in the post. Like, I want a prolonged story of not just, hey, I'm Hill now, I'm gonna kick your ass every week. Like, that was the furthest thing I wanted. Every time you show up, I'm gonna give you dirty deeds. Like, I wanted this drawn out story of between Seth and Dean. like
But-
something with some substance.
Well, until they were doing that great feud before when Rollins stabbed his brothers in the back until Dean had to leave. They had to write Dean off so he could go do the movie. They had a great feud going. And then they screwed it up with him leaving. And then when he came back, screwing it up by throwing Wyatt in there and then Owens. And they ruined. They just ruined a good storyline. Let's hope they don't do it again.
Yeah, and that's what that they have a way to correct ship and I said ship, SHIP, not a dirty word. Like, turn court if that's where they're going. And even if they're okay, this time the roles can be reversed. Do it the right way, not just do it the right way.
Well, they're doing it with the right way, and they've got them each in the right roles to do it because this is what made it so successful in FCW. And Rollins was the face, Ambrose was the heel. And it worked so well that way. They just have that natural chemistry. They're good friends, better enemies.
They're brothers, but I don't have to like my brother. I don't have to like them, and worst comes to worst, I will fight them.
What about the 10-woman tag team match?
That was pretty good. I was surprised that Trish and Lita wrestled on Raw.
You were.
Yeah.
Apparently, that was their after all the rumors and stuff, they're going to be a tag team moving forward. Apparently, that was their final appearance, at least for a while.
Come back, Lita. Come back.
Lita, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me now. Lita, don't hurt. Oh, sorry. Karaoke Lita on a different song. No more.
Okay, someone tell me what they thought about Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar when they threw down.
Made Braun look like an idiot.
Are you afraid they're going to put the title back on Brock?
I dare them to. I dare them to.
I'm scared to death that they do.
Yeah.
If I think it or not, I'm not sure. I hope. But
that belt is cursed.
Yeah.
Please don't. Like, just let Braun get his whatever he's getting paid for Crown Jewel. Whether it ends in no contest or Braun wins, and I'm not even at the moment a fan of Braun winning it. Just please don't put. Close your ears, kids. Do not put that motherfucking title back on Brock. Please. Please.
Like the thing with Braun is that if they do put the title on Braun, it's a year too late. But even then, it's still better than Brock as champion.
Yeah, like I would take Braun over Brock right now, but you could have told this story last SummerSlam or before last SummerSlam, 2017. But please, whatever you do, do not have. I'm might actually. I'm not going to be one of those like I'm canceling my subscription. I'm done. But I will take a hard break from Raw and SmackDown. At least Raw for sure. And nothing about like things you see like, oh, if so and so and so and so and so, I'm like, no, I mean in a more onion way, a more in depth, more layered. Like, my interest is already fallen a while back, but I'm still keeping up. If that happens, the only thing I really would care about is the Dean Seth thing and what they do with Drew. And I can find that on YouTube, so I'm not going to use data to watch 3 hours of Raw when I can find clips of what I actually want to see. Please, for wrestling gods, do not put that championship on Brock. My opinion.
What about Finn Balor defeats Bobby Lashley? Blech.
Are we going to the World Cup? Oh, well, Finn's not in the World Cup. What are you referring to? Oh, I'm sorry. My mind was thinking about Crown Jewel. I'm just happy like Bobby is getting a character with Leo Rush. Dang it. I blame Lepsy because I've talked to her before this.
Lepsy.
She corrupted my mind. No, we're talking about all this kind of different stuff earlier, and I've confused myself with Apollo Crews and Leo Rush. I done ran myself in circles, so one of you guys that speak better than I.
Well, was there anything else memorable about Raw? Let's just go that way.
Not really.
Okay.
I think it was the day of, or maybe the night before. The Hardy House YouTube thing came out, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I still need to watch that.
You gotta watch it. You got to, Matt. You got to.
I need to.
No, you got to. No. I've only watched. I watched most of it on YouTube, but I need to rewatch it and watch it all the way through for sure. Apparently, there's some things in there that I missed.
Okay, then let's move on to SmackDown.
Is that pre-taped Thursday show or something?
No, it's that live Tuesday show.
The Mox doesn't remember that. Sorry. Bad joke. Bad joke.
Well, I guess we know now Daniel Bryan is not going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. And what a way to have AJ, since he was number one contender, have Daniel Bryan face AJ in a very non-publicized, non-promoted, just by the way, what a way to do that. What a way to promote a match people have been fiending for. I get it because, AJ's still going to Saudi Arabia and it was supposed to be a title match with Daniel.
But now, once again, it's Samoa Joe. Again.
Joe has to win this time. There's no reason for him not to.
TNA, 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 TNA.
Well, I'm just getting tired of this matchup.
Yeah. It also doesn't have that Joe loses every single time.
Joe is one of the ones where either do something with him or get out the pot.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's the big SmackDown Championship, the WWE Championship, United States Championship. Do something with him or just go your separate ways. Okay, he's good enough. I get why they want to keep him. Dude's good. But when it comes to TV, he's so. There's very little meat when he came to the main roster to chew on. He got a little bit of that meat. Then it was just bones. Then it was just the marrow in the bones. And now, give him something. Something to. So many things you could do with Samoa Joe as United States champion. So many things you could do with him as WWE champion. But at least give him. Shinsuke's United States championship. What exactly has that accomplished? Oh, that's right. Literally squat.
Yeah, they just have done nothing. Really with the title itself, and I don't know how long. R-Truth would have been a better champion than Nakamura. Doing something like that.
At Hell in a Cell. United States champion was Nakamura, and a Hell in a Cell match was between Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy. How does that make sense?
Just the mid card for SmackDown is just really awful right now.
It just I get if you do roundabout ways of math that sometimes 1 plus 1 can equal 3, but common math, 1 plus 1 equals 2. Stick to that formula.
Now, if you're using the Common Core test,
You can tell both of us are red. Good grief. I've sent you pictures and like some of the, and now we're not even talking about wrestling. Like, good grief, like what the? Oh, how do you even get to that? And I'm mathematical, like that's my thing is, and like no, like Consuela again, like this is the 4th time she's been mentioned. No. Like you can only manipulate numbers so much to make them equal something. And some of the things they pull in Common Core, like no. What happened to the good old days?
Okay, what about Becky's promo that she did?
It was a very good promo, very short, but very good as well. Though, Mox AA, I have a question for you. For both of you.
Shoot.
The Breeze.
Remember when Raw and SmackDown used to have separate standalone storylines of Survivor Series?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Don't you miss those days?
Yes.
I was so hoping they wouldn't do that again this year.
Same here, like, is the laziest way of doing a storyline. Like, not every Survivor Series needs to be Brain Supremacy. Not every Survivor Series needs to be Under Siege. Not every Survivor Series needs to be SmackDown versus Raw. Not every Survivor Series needs to be Brain Supremacy. None of that. You can do separate storylines for both brands of Survivor Series. It's okay. You have the right to do that.
This isn't Common Core motherfucking math. It's very simple math. Sorry, just tying the last thing we talked about into this. Like, it's not that difficult. It's a very easy formula. You don't have to. Some of the things. Oh, my son, some of the things he comes home with his math homework and what the. So I'll leave that for another time. But yes, like you're taking. And don't get me wrong, like Becky versus Ronda. How do I put this? All in for that match, except for I kind of know the outcome. Like Ronda's not losing. Maybe this is where we do transition to the 4 horsemen women versus the 4 horsewomen kind of thing. But the whole blue brand versus red brand, like that, it's like you said, the laziest way you can. Hey, I've got people. Well, hey, I've got people too. Like, dude, where's the story in it?
Yeah, like pretty much, and it pretty much stops every storyline that's going on right now in its tracks. Like, would you rather see a random dream match between Nakamura and Seth Rollins, or would you rather see Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental title in a storyline that's actually happening?
at the moment, I want them to push back the Dean versus Seth thing. But I get what you're saying. At the moment, just personal bias. I would see IC versus US just because I don't want that story told too soon. I know exactly what you're saying. Like switch the holders around and like, oh yeah, screw that. I'd rather have this. But right now, I don't want Dean and Seth facing each other.
Well, they made their bed with this storyline that they're doing right now, so they're going to have to lie in it.
And Dean and Seth are going to have to carry Raw for a while. Which is
Well, they
another
can do it.
Yeah, and they can. Which is another reason why please do not put the title on Brock, please. Because they can't be in every segment of every Raw. Have it's frustrating of I'd prefer like during the match, like just the entire locker room comes out and just whoops ass, makes it a disqualification, and have a tournament or something for the Universal Championship. Just dear God, no, Brock. And Braun's lost his luster, and just in the last few weeks with Braun's face, Braun's heel, Braun's face, Braun's heel, Braun's face, Braun's heel. Like even Big Show's getting dizzy. I say have a tournament, let it last until TLC, and put it on Drew McIntyre and TLC.
I wouldn't mind to see it. I wouldn't mind seeing it on Drew sometime. I think Drew could break the curse. Because I'm saying that belt is cursed.
Put it on Drew in December at TLC. Defend it against maybe have some kind of another Dolph turn, Big Show turn, but like he defends it against somebody at Royal Rumble, retains. But that's a big problem of is the Universal Championship bigger than the actual people in the ring wrestling? Like it's obviously the brand's bigger than the people that are in the brand. And yes, a lot of people would like to see Drew as champion, but is Drew versus enter name here going to draw eyeballs or sell tickets or
Well, from what I've been reading and researching since I didn't see it, there wasn't really much to SmackDown this week.
Yeah, not really.
As bad as I thought Raw was, SmackDown was apparently a little bit worse.
Even with the returning of Shane McMahon.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't have the Iconics on the show.
Which we all know why Shane's back, and that's for a freaking Survivor Series match.
Yeah, it is so weird. Like, it doesn't fit at all here. Cage really should just be the only authority on SmackDown.
When he came out at SmackDown 1000, like I called it then, like, oh, well, we're gonna get a SmackDown team consisting of Shane as the captain for Survivor Series at SmackDown 1000. I said that.
Yeah.
Like, it should. And I'm kind of hoping that because a few weeks ago, WWE stock prices were right at $100 a share, and now they're down to $73 a share, something like that, which does have a lot to do with Redacted.
That's amore.
Hopefully that's opening eyes on people that aren't like in the creative, like, oh, we've got like where it opens a more flow of, hey, just in a day we lost this billions of dollars or that much billions of dollars. Like we're losing money. Like, let's fix it, and that will trickle down to. I think this is the fifth time I used the word trickle. Like, do something about it. Like,
what? He's a race car driver. His name is Dick Trickle.
Dick Trickle is the greatest name. Dick Trickle is the greatest name in sports history. It's legitimately, in my opinion, Dick Trickle is the greatest name. There's a list I have, but Dick Trickle is by far the leads the list because that's just.
Perfect.
Yeah, like it's, and when you realize that his parents didn't name him that after, like, to be funny or anything, like, dude, that's great, and that's his shoot name. It's not Richard Trickle, shortened to Dick. His shoot name is Dick Trickle. That's what they named him.
So SmackDown was the bust.
Yeah.
Quick question, because I didn't watch. Was Charlotte even on SmackDown?
I think she had a very brief segment. I don't think I saw it though.
I thought Becky was the only female who had anything. And that was a 1-minute promo.
They really need to switch. And I don't have the answers, and I'm not pretending to have, but more often than what they've been doing is switch brands, where people become stale or have nothing to do. Put them on a different brand. See what they can do. See, like for instance, somebody I love Kana. I loved Oscar before. Streak. Switch your back real quick. See what kind of reaction you get. What kind of story you can write on the Raw roster instead of SmackDown. I don't have the answers, and I don't pretend to, and that it aggravates me when people think well, if you do this, and this, and then everything will be all right. Like, well, that's not how that works.
But you always have the answers, Mox.
Well, I do, because 1 + 1 always equals 2. I don't care what the first grade teacher says.
So
Yeah,
what's huh?
SmackDown was forgettable. Raw was pretty much forgettable,
Yeah.
except for the Dean just coming out and glaring Seth like that. The funniest, I say funniest in a very loose sense here. Sunday was Evolution, all women's Evolution. I just off the top of my head, between Raw and SmackDown, I think the women had, so we're talking about 5 hours of programming. I combined, I think the women had 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Of 5 hours of programming. And in defense, and not to be devil's advocate, but they're also leading up to this Crown Jewel thing Friday, so they have to, get all that storyline in. But at the same time, 5 hours coming off a 3-hour pay-per-view, and the women combined get 18 minutes, 19 minutes, something like that. So moving on from WWE.
Yep, it's officially midnight, which means Halloween is officially over.
Oh, man. So when did I turn back into a pumpkin?
It's not fair. It's just not fair.
I'm still riding this person around in a chariot. I'm just waiting to turn back into a pumpkin.
Hey, I still got an hour before Halloween is over.
Lucky.
I was reading something on Twitter, guys, and it's real funny. This is from Police Chase Alerts. And they said, no idea what is going on. Maybe a news chopper is using its night sun to spook the idiots into running or something. We're out unless we've seen some police lights. PCA Live is out. Then 2 minutes later. Never effing mind. As soon as I tweeted that, police motorcycle shows up. 30 minutes of dead until that tweet went out.
What the hell? Alrighty then.
I'm sorry, folks. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I got a strange sense of humor.
And whether it's fortunately or unfortunately, like I had the same thought you did. Like, wicked minds think together, I guess. Like that. What the? We find joy in other people's misery, unless it's like true. Like, we have lines. I don't know. I'm pretty sure neither of you guys watched the episode because this was early 90s cops when they, I want to say this was in Los Angeles, somewhere around there. And the suspect got away from the cops. And so they called the helicopters in with the, the heat sensing device.
The
thing.
infrared.
Yeah. And the whole first segment, oh, we got him, he's here. And they ended when and the helicopter is telling the people on the ground, where to check, and come to find out it was a cow. they were chasing a cow and had no clue where the actual suspect was. That was I can't believe they actually aired that, but oh, we got him, and they thought it was this guy running through this, the forest, thing. That this heat sensor picked it up, and they thought, and sure enough, when the cops on the ground got to him, like, this is a cow.
That's one criminal who got away.
How was MLW this week, Matt?
It was pretty solid. Main event was Sami Callihan and Jimmy Havoc in a spin the wheel, make the deal match.
Spin the wheel, let's make a deal is usually pretty fun, sometimes not. What did they land on?
Well, it ended up going on winner's choice. They did a coin toss and Jimmy Havoc spun the wheel and it ended up being on winner's choice. And he ended up choosing everything that was on the wheel.
Oh, I bet Sammy loved that.
Yeah. So this match had paper cuts. The finish of the match comes when Sami Callihan pile drives Jimmy Havoc while Havoc is in a body bag, and Sami Callihan wins.
Good for Sammy.
Yeah, it was a really good match.
Can we talk about how much Sami Callihan does not look like Sami Callihan after he had his head shaved?
Yeah, he needs that hair back, man.
He does. He needs to. At least he still has it for Lucha.
Yeah.
It's just not the same. Like it. And I think it was Pound Sterling, like, because I had the same thought for just a second before I realized it, so I didn't actually comment it. But this was a month ago or so, 3 weeks ago. Like, who's that Mojo Rawley looking motherfucker that Shane Strickland threw up the stage, or that threw Shane Strickland up the stage on the table? Because it did look like Mojo Rawley for a second. Like, oh, that's Sami Callihan. Like, grow your hair back, dude, please. Anybody else watch any other wrestling?
Not really.
New Japan shows that I know the results, but I haven't watched yet, so I can't speak on it. Just for lack of better, like one of their roads to kind of thing. This past week's been weird for me. We're kept up with wrestling, haven't watched a lot of it, but I've kept up. And now the Reigns just going to decide, hey, and it. I'm
Yeah, it's raining over here too as well.
It finally made it your way.
Yep.
It's just
With the-
cold here.
It's getting colder here with this rain. But without giving where we are, Metal Matt and I live in the same state. He's just a little south of myself. And it always ticks me off. Man, it's pouring here. Well, it's sunshiny here. Sunshiny, beautiful day. Like, and if you know what Say I was talking about and which direction I was talking about, like you would think like he would just be flooded all the time. But nope. You guys want to wrap this up, or anybody else have anything to say?
Don't have anything else to say except how can they get a hold of you guys?
Dead silence.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Melmat15. I was hanging out on K-Side Seats in the daily and the nightly. The nightly tonight was on Ozzy Osbourne's No More Tears album, as it was a special Halloween edition of the nightly.
No more tears. Sorry, I've channeled my wing.
And tomorrow is Dehumanizer for Black Sabbath.
Don't you have some kind of podcast or something?
Yep, the Ruthless Aggression Era podcast. And this week, it's actually going to be 2 episodes because tomorrow morning, I believe I'm going to be pre-recording an episode that's going to be uploaded later that night with Tigris Minion as we talk about WrestleMania 20. And then Friday, I'm going to be talking with
Friday.
Friday, I'm going to be talking with none other than Mox as we take a look at the 2004 draft lottery.
Who's that guy?
See, Mox, I'll give you some good shows every now and again.
I don't know who that is.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
That Mox is one lucky guy. I always get like album reviews, so this other Mox, man, I'm super jealous. Yeah, you can find me at Fireman6809 on Twitter. As everybody knows, Mox or Daily Nightly Threads on K-Touch. It's Prince Moxley Lopez. Mox is short for Prince Moxley Lopez. I guess just since, it wasn't on my calendar for 2 months or anything, but I'll be on Ruthless Aggression Era podcast Friday talking about. Yay, I finally have something good to talk about.
Something gooder, huh?
Something gooder. Usually I can get the crap stuff to talk about during, like, because he knows I'll show up. So I get like some of the worst things of the era. But this time I have good things. Like, hey, this was pretty fun.
Yep.
And we're at Violent Wrestling No G on Twitter. And I just completely lost my train of thought because I was trying to like not throw Matt under the bus of like I didn't mean whatever I just said like coming out that way. Like the podcast is great. It's just usually when I'm a guest, it's like, hey, nobody else is going to talk about this, so let's get Mox to do it.
I mean, you got WrestleMania 19.
And if that's the same thing you can keep referring to, like as my high point, and you've been doing this for almost a year. Hey, you got WrestleMania 19. You've been doing that for a year. Like, give me something else.
And Leah's book, that was pretty good, right?
Oh yeah, okay. Just Leah's book was all forgivable. Like, okay. After this one, like if you just
I guess.
Which I don't mind talking about the bad stuff, like some of my better podcasts with you are about the bad stuff. Like, oh God, that was so bad, but we have to talk about it. Yeah.
Well, you didn't get the bunny. At least I got the bunny.
El Bunny.
El Bunny.
No, I didn't get El Bunny. I just got the bunny. El Bunny would kick my ass.
Where can they find you, AA?
You can find me on Twitter at Lady Roshana. That's LadyRoschana. Or you can find me on the daily and sometimes the nightly as Ambrose Alley. Or you can find me on Twitch at Violent Wrestling Podcast, no G. Same place where you can find Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling.
Every once in a while you can find her in Vegas.
But that's off my bucket list. So next thing on my bucket list is Australia.
And take me with you.
Okay, I'll sneak you in my suitcase.
Oh, good grief. Ma'am, why is there legs and arms hanging out of your suitcase?
It's a body.
Yeah, you see nothing. Just like give an accent like you see nothing. Nothing to see here. I promise I won't like just all of a sudden start help, or let me put it in actual circumstance. It'd be more like who.
And now we'll send out some shout outs to like Ruthless Aggression Era podcast with the infamous or famous Metal Matt. Take your pick.
Infamous.
Then, of course, there is the podcast that got me started in all of this. Shooting the Breeze. Two Guys, One Sport. Connoisseurs of Wrestling. Busy's Wacky World. Grounds for Development. I know I'm missing some.
Hey, that's my job to not remember everything.
You're supposed to remember what I forget.
Your first week back and you're already taking over my job. Dang it. I think you covered them all.
So, folks, we wrap up another edition of Violent Wrestling Podcast. We'll see everybody back next week. Same violent time, same violent channel.
We missed AA. We missed AA.
Clap,
Come on,
clap,
Matt.
clap, clap, clap.
We missed AA. Matt, you better join me.
We missed AA.
We missed AA.
We missed AA.
AA.